I have to send, I have to have some supernatural powers that I can see behind me. That thing, know that you are
All right,
switching.
well,
I'm not challenging you, and there is a certain limit that you have, and you have to show your leadership and your command. But at some point, I think you are abusing your role and your rank when you say that someone is challenging you when they ask you an issue that you brought it up,
Miss
hold
and
on, hold
Mr.
on.
it's not
Movic,
even
Let
a
this
me
has
let me
valid.
address this, Mr. JB.
It's
Let me
not even
address
a.
this.
It's
So,
not
Mr.
even a
Movic,
valid accusation.
hold your mic,
Can you?
Mr. Movic.
look, Mr. Movic, I don't mean to interrupt you, but you did use a very strong word saying that Mr. JB is abusing his role. I think what's going on now is Mr. JB, he saw something and he let you know, he gave you a command or he gave you an order based on what he saw. And I think the issue coming right now is that, you may have felt attacked, or, you felt offended, or you felt called out by what he said. But I do think your approach to this situation is coming from the wrong direction. Like, at the end of the day, you do seem to be challenging what he saw. And then at the same time, I think right now is just more about bringing clarity to what actually happened rather than trying to pick who's right and who's wrong, and I don't think that he's abusing his power by exercising that right. I mean, you did call him into RT. Go ahead, sir.
So, can you tell me if it was you, how will you handle such situation? Uh, how will you
I,
handle it? Can you tell me?
if my colonel general came to me and said, "Mr. Movic, you don't see this gang member shooting, or you don't see this gang member behind you," and then he's saying, "Hey, you cannot be AFK," my answer at that moment would be, "Yes, sir. I continue to be as active as I can." And then if you had an issue with what he said, you bring him back to RT, and instead of saying, "I want to see the body cam," or, you would say, "Hey, I don't know if there was any miscommunication, sir, but I wasn't AFK and I just couldn't see the guy behind me. I apologize for that." And at that point he would say, "Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were AFK. You right. You can't see behind you. You all good. My apologies for calling you out like that in the middle of our mid." And it'll be a two-way respect right there. I think that, you have been here for a while, and I know that you've had some issues with previous leadership, but we do have to still follow that chain of command and follow that respect level that should be given. And I don't think that's abuse. I think that's just the way it is. I do hear what you're saying. You're right. You cannot see things behind you. I think that's just an additive to the AFK. I mean, like he said, he can't he left, died, and came back, and I don't know how much time was in between that. But yeah, I think that the AFK part was more of the issue rather than missing the gang member. But yeah, go ahead, sir.
You do not understand me. So I come, I come to a location and I saw a gang members. Immediately I reach your location and I see you
Okay.
standing there and there is a gang member behind you. And when you interact with me, even within 2 seconds, I respond to you and you are saying that's safe K. Like,
And that's what I was
Okay.
about. That's
Here's
what I was
what and
about to
then
safe
address next.
K.
Was there the AFK? Um, I definitely understand where you're coming from with that. I mean, to me, AFK is like extensive, 3, 4,
okay.
5 minutes.
Here's what I saw. I'm going to explain this again because I feel like you're not really listening to what I'm saying, Mr. Movic. I think you're trying to push an agenda as if it's like there's power tripping. This is simply from Raid, okay? I died in AP by the scissor lift. I respawned. I come from HP, go through mid, and here is AP pack. Pretend this is AP pack. You were standing like this with your gun out, and then there was a gang member in that blue circle just coming from behind you and just taking that pack, running away. What I did from mid, where that sandbag was, I started shooting, killing, boom, 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 boom. And then I ran to you. I said, Mr. Movic, did you not see that? And you didn't. You refused to answer. And then I said, Mr. Movic, are you AFK? And then you proceeded to type, no, I'm looking at mid. this is the type of training, okay, where we make sure that you guys are aware of your situations. I've never, I'm having a hard time after you said I'm using my abusing my power, Mr. Mobic. I do a lot around this space and I enjoy my job. Um, I understand again you were here for the first term of the other term, but things are different. No one's trying to get after you. I'm not after you. I was simply correcting what I saw. And if you think that is an abuse of power, I don't know what is abuse of power, but I feel that I'm doing my job. And I'm making sure that our soldiers, especially you, Colonel, is making sure that no one is taking the packages and that you are aware of your surroundings. I understand if you're looking only towards the front, you're not paying attention to the back. But that's why we are supposed to be aware. Turning our screen. Like I can see from behind the front. We have to turn our screen. That's all it was. I'm not challenging you. I was just simply correcting what I saw.
So can we drop AFK off the table and just
Yeah, we'll
push
drop AFK off the table.
and push this
Maybe you were just
So,
not
Mr. Kai,
looking or paying
Mr.
attention
Kai,
at the time.
and push this more
Mr.
towards just station readiness, post readiness, and just keeping your head on the swivel. You know, we definitely appreciate all
Definitely.
the things that you're doing on base, Mr. Movic. You're showing up, you're contributing in many ways. During the raids, let's just try to stay active, keep moving, keep our screens moving. That way, the soldiers around us are aware that they can see that we're aware. We having each other's back, and let's just try to keep it on that. I don't think Mr. JB abusing his power. I just think there's a line of miscommunication right now going on.
So, Mr. Kai, you know what really upset me? He just came to me within 2 seconds and called my name, and I respond to him within, let's say, less than 5 seconds, because I have to take a time to type on the chat. That time I cannot use mic, so I had to take time. You can imagine how many
Yeah.
how many seconds it will take you to type on the chat no, or I'm not FK, something like that.
So
And then
so
after I
that
told him that I'm not FK, wait, even after I told him I'm not FK, he continue going and keep on throwing words back at me that if you are not focusing on AP, you can go in mid, uh, don't FK, blah blah blah. And I'm like, is this a big deal? Like,
Excuse
you
me.
feel that
yeah,
I was
yeah.
It
FK?
is a big deal, sir.
Mr. Movic,
This really
it's
upset
not.
me, officer.
Mr. Mobic.
Hold on, Mr.
It's a
Sir. Look,
big deal.
it's not a blah blah blah. Okay, that's the Colonel General speaking. You
Mm,
understand? This it's not blah blah
that's
blah.
okay.
Mr. JB, like he said, he loves his job. He contributes, I would say, almost the most on his base. And we
300 plus K medals over every day.
there's a level of respect that we have to understand. You have to understand that, like, you know, and this is a question that I think we asked it in Delta Force. I'm not sure if it's been asked to you in any of your interviews, but if you are given an order or a command by a higher ranking officer that you disagree with, there is still a certain way that you got to handle it. If you're out there in mids and all you're hearing is blah blah blah, then if it sounds like there's the respect level is already broken, and if there's something that we can do to build that up, please let us know. But if your mind is already set that it's a certain level that you're not appreciative of or accepting, then it's already pretty biased. So, like, what I'm saying is like, when he's coming to you saying something, understand that it's coming from the rights to the base, the best for the base. It's not coming personally to attack you. So I don't want you to feel like it's a personal attack. It's more so, I think he would have said that to any soldier. You know what I'm saying?
Any
So
soldier.
isn't
I
let's
don't.
let's try to
I've
keep this
never disrespected you.
let's try to keep this away from being personal. And I don't like to see Mr. JB attacked, because I have a lot of respect for him. Like I said, he contributes a lot. You contribute a lot, and I definitely don't want to see you guys conflicting over this respect boundary, because at the end of the day, we owe each other. Everyone on base deserves equal respect. Res- what do you mean lie?
It does go both ways, Mister Mobic.
No,
You
I
did
didn't.
not respect me enough when I asked you to make sure that you didn't say yes, sir. All you said was, "Yeah, I'm moving. I'm looking at mid." Um, Do you think that's something that we want to hear? Do you think I want to hear that you're not paying attention to the AP pack? That you're only staring at mid, so anything that's only in front of you is only shot at. I've never come at you in a different way. I've always been helpful to you. So I feel very disrespected that you think what I'm saying to you is blah 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 blah. What I'm asking you to do is to make sure that you are aware. There was somebody in this blue circle and you did nothing, Mr. Movic. So that's what was upsetting to me. That's why I said if you're not going to be active in AP, then you need to move to mid so that way if you are only paying attention to mid, then we'll move you closer to mid so you can pay closer attention to it. If that's what you wanted, sir, is what I was saying.
I think you guys making it another story. We are not talking about right now. Right now, we are trying to explain the situation. When I say blah blah blah, is what he said, like he continued talking. I'm not meaning like disrespectful way. I'm just trying to explain it and make it more understanding to you guys. But I think my time is up
We're
here.
trying to make you understand, Mr. Movic. I understand you
Wait,
AFK, you weren't
wait, Mr.
AFK, but
JB,
you were not paying attention to the
Mr.
package
JB.
behind you.
Listen, I think my time is done here. I want to thank you, Mr. Kai, Mr. Yumis. I think my time is up here. I really love the work we have done with you guys.
Wait, what you mean retiring, sir?
I think, yeah, I think, Mr. Yumis, for example, right now, where is your screen facing?
It's kind of tilted towards the door, like the radio tower's symbol over there.
So if anything happens behind you, how long will it take you for it? It will take you to uh, identify anything that happens behind you.
Because of my control settings, it is gonna take me a minute to turn around because I have my control settings so low with my screen. So it'll take me about.
So if I come to you and
I
ask
just
you,
counted
are
10
you
seconds,
okay?
so it takes me about 10 seconds to turn around.
So if
So
I
I have
come
a
and ask
question.
you,
So if you're
wait,
if hey God.
let me just ask.
Mm,
Is there's not nothing big deal.
mm.
I'm just asking Mr. Yumis, please let me speak with Mr. Yumis. Mr. Yumis. So if I come
I
to you
feel
and ask,
really disrespected at this point. At this point,
do
I
you
feel
wish
like
for
he's
me to
not
speak?
listening to
Let me. It's
to
just
what
me.
I'm
I'm
saying,
speaking.
Mr. Movic.
That's why I'm telling you. You are
Mr.
using
Movic,
your
please
rank.
stop
You're
talking,
using
Mr.
your
Movic.
rank. I will
No,
not,
I'm not,
because
sir.
I'm here
Because
to speak. I'm here to speak, Mr. Yumis,
Mr.
and
Movic,
I'm
Mr.
speaking to
Movic,
Mr. Yumis.
please stop, sir.
All right, I'm gonna let you speak. I'm gonna go outside or SG, and I'm waiting for FG to come and retire me because you are clearly meaning that I did FK for 5 seconds, and that's a big
Again,
violation.
sir, we
So
will go
deal.
away from the AFK. You were not listening, sir. You were not
No,
listening from the beginning, sir.
just the other day you
Sir, you're
were
not
abusing one of the
recognizing
gang
what I'm
members.
trying to correct you with, Mr.
Just
Movic,
the other
and
day you
I'm
were
not
abusing
using
the
my
gang
abusive
member.
power, Mr.
Like this is you.
Mr.
I
Movic, you
cannot
are
really work
Colonel.
with you.
I'm asking you to please stop. Mr. Movic, do you
So,
understand? I'm going to repeat it again. Go ahead, FG, sorry.
so can I have a brief of what's happening?
FG,
Yes.
let me go ahead and fill you in, FG. So basically,
Yes, sir.
JB witnessed when he came back from HP. He witnessed a gang member at mid. Or was it at AP? Sir,
AP Pack.
he was at
He
AP
was at
Pack.
AP Pack.
Mr. Movic was stationed at AP Pack. Mr. Movic was paying attention to mid. He wasn't moving. JB killed the gang member, and he addressed the issue with Mr. Movic on the field, saying, "Hey, you didn't see this guy here," and then he said no, and then Mr. JB said, let's not go AFK." I'm not aware of how that all played out, but Mr. Movic didn't take a likeness to it. He brought him into RT to discuss it, and right now, I think it's some miscommunication between the whole AFK assumption versus just his response to the order. You know, like being aware of his surroundings. And right now, it just feels like they struggling between that misunderstanding. Like I definitely understand where Mr. JB is coming from. Mr. Movic, I understand his perspective as well. I just disagree with the way that it's being the way that he's handling it. I think it was a very simple thing of like Mr. Movic, honestly, like I think that if you just explain that you were not AFK and that you weren't AFK, but accepting and understanding that you do need to be aware of your surroundings, I think that this would have been a very simple matter. I think Mr. JB was just trying to make a correction to that situation. And he originally called it AFK, but if you know you weren't AFK, we trust what you're saying, then the next thing would just be, hey, look, if you're not AFK, I need you to be keep your head on a swivel, keep your eyes open, because for right there, it seemed like you were because you weren't paying attention to your post. So I think that's all this was. I don't think it needs to be a back and forth, and I definitely don't think you need to retire on that based on that.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely don't want you to retire. So yeah, like Kai said, right? If we are at that post, we do need to be a little attentive, right? But I do understand, like, once your camera is in a certain location, you can't really see, behind your
Yeah,
camera. So,
and we're
and
understanding of
then a
that.
lot of people do have it, where you move, like the camera moves slow, right, for shooting purposes. So it is kind of harder to, flick around a little faster. I understand that, right? But just that conversation, letting them know, like, hey, look, I'm running like a 9 and a 7 right now, so my camera doesn't pan that fast. I wasn't AFK, I just couldn't see it. So that way we can keep that camaraderie, right? We don't want to see y'all retire over something small, right?
That's very correct what you just said.
Then
And
that's why.
Oh, not yet, Senior,
and
not yet.
he came to me and he came to me and asked me to respond. And when I was typing to him, it just take like less than 5 seconds for me to respond. Yet he called that I was FK. So that really upset me. And yeah, my decision is made up. I cannot be dealing with people who they actually make such kind of conclusion.
That's a little far fetched. The conclusion was, as here's what I expect from the soldiers. I expect not anybody to just be standing there. I expect you guys that you were so close to that circle that you let the gang member get the pack, right? Which I killed him, and that was fine. We killed him. But when I addressed why you weren't turning around, AP pack during raid, we are supposed to be moving around like this, not just standing. That's all. And that's all I was trying to tell you, Mr. Movic. And I believe this is going a little bit out of hand from the subject originally that we're talking about and the issue I was trying to address. Maybe if I wouldn't have said that you were AFK, you know. Right, sir. But I just feel a little uneasy with this because you personally called me into RT as if you were the one correcting me. You know, I worked myself up to where I'm at, so I believe that I've earned the right to ask a soldier to make sure that they're not AFK and to protect the package. Simply as that. And then it turned into this, sir. I understand you can't turn your screen, but we can simply just turn around, right? We can just simply walk around, move around, so that way we're facing that, sir. That was
I,
my
I would
only
say this the
thing
situation
with it.
was very, very, very simple. Mr. Movic, I like you as a soldier, you're a
Yeah,
great soldier, but the way you addressed this, it was, I think, a little, it wasn't the
the way
right
he
way to
spoke
do
to
it.
me in the message that he need, I felt like I was the one in trouble, and I'm talking to you, Mr. Colonel. It's all it is, sir. So I understand. Listen, sir. Um, I don't believe that I made a. Here's the thing. Maybe I made a mistake. I think I made a mistake with the way I told you. I kept going and said that if you're not paying attention to the AP pack and you were paying attention to mid, then in my mind, the logic mind in my mind is okay. You want to pay attention to mid, so we will put you at mid next time. If you cannot pay attention to the AP pack circle, And I literally came from mid and I shot him there. And then that's when I ran to you, Mr. Movic, Mr. Movic, Mr. Movic, Mr. Movic, are you there? And you stood there. You didn't acknowledge that I was talking to you. And then you started typing and then you said, I'm facing mid. Uh, do you think that's something, if we're in a raid, do you believe that's something that's just like an answer where it's like, I was just facing mid, just not paying attention to the AP pack? It could have been simply as that, where it's like, okay, I'll make sure that I turn around and, if somebody, my higher ranks was to tell me I'm not paying attention, I would correct that action. But I believe I would never challenge a higher ranking because I do know my place. But, sir, that's all I was doing. I was just correcting that action. There was no power tripping in that when I was simply doing my job to make sure that the soldiers that are under me, know what is expected of them.
I'm so sorry about that, Mr. JB. I didn't know that I'm not supposed to ask any higher ups, even if they make mistake, or kind of challenging them for
Okay.
anything that I feel that they're being disrespectful or any other way. Like we all the same, and we all share the 10 army base
We are,
rules.
sir.
And as long as we respect each other, we can all correct each other whenever we make mistakes. So
Okay, sir.
As I said before, in both directions, it's not about what you said, Mr. Movic. It's honestly just how you said it. Okay. You are making valid points. Um, oh well.
But it's coming. I think if it's coming from a different place of, I feel like this heat is not towards me. I feel like this is a
Mr.
little bit more
Yamis,
heat. There's a little bit more behind it.
do you accept mistakes from your lower ranks?
I always do. I always do. I always do
I
when I
said
do
you don't
wrong.
accept.
But I believe you're not
Just say
accepting your mistake. You're just making I understand it. You're challenging the what I'm correcting you. That was all. I was correcting that. I don't believe I made a mistake. I stick by it because I was just doing my job. If a soldier is not paying attention to a pack during raid, I believe that's my business and it's my job to make sure that it's corrected. That you are not just standing there, sir. That's all it was. That's all it is. That's all. Okay. Well.
So I don't think he's trying to like not say that he didn't do anything wrong, right? Because like I said, it can be misconstrued on how we say things, right? But right, he is kind of right. Like during the raise, like we need y'all attentive, right? Like you're getting paid during that, you're getting medals during that, you're getting experience, all of that stuff comes into play. And we need y'all active. So from what I'm getting from the story, right? So you were making sure nobody was taking mid, which is definitely a good thing, right? But at the same time, somebody was able to sneak by you. So from the outside looking in on that situation, from JB's standpoint, it would look as if you were AFK, right? And then when he came up and was like, "Hey, Mr. Movic, right? I understand you were typing and you weren't AFK, but right, that typing it does take a second to get out. So right, he's already said your name, he's seen a gang member, and then it takes a second for that message to come out. So the first thought would be AFK, right? Not saying you were, but that would be the first thought. Like, oh, okay, well this soldier is just AFK, right? But the conversation afterwards, right? That can kind of bridge that. Like, no, I wasn't AFK, right? Because sometimes in RP I don't wear headphones, and if I hit my mic during the raid, all you hear is siren. So I'll have to type sometimes too. It does take a while, but like if that's the case, right? After if someone has a comment, question, or something about it, right? I'll explain to them like, well, I couldn't pick up the mic, don't have my headphones in, blase, blase. And then that's really the end of that, right? Because you weren't AFK, you just had to take a second to respond because you didn't get your mic, and that's understandable. I don't think this big deal isn't as big as the deal as it is. No, it doesn't mean you're AFK, right? It doesn't, for sure. But right from the outside looking in, that's what I'm saying. So over a course of say 15 to 20 seconds, right? Because he said he's seen the gang member, killed the gang member, right? So we'll say that took him 8 seconds from the site to the death. After that, he comes to you, says your name at least 2 to 3 times, right? So that's another 5 seconds, and then another 5 seconds for you to respond. So that's like 25 seconds of no activity from the character. So it does look like AFK, right? But that's what I'm saying. Like just a simple conversation like we're having now, it would have kind of like squashed that. Like, right, hey, look, I understand you thought I was AFK, but I really wasn't. This is the reason and why. This is what happened. Stuff like that, right? Because retirement after putting in as much work as y'all do here, right? Because requirements for rank ups here are a lot more than most servers. Um, so y'all put in a lot of work to get these ranks, and retiring, if you ever want to come back, you have to put in that same amount of work to get back to this rank, right? When it's just a conversation that we can have, and then we can keep it moving. Everybody can keep their jobs, everybody's paid, stuff like that.
I've given you 110%, sir. 110% respect, sir. And I praise you for all the things you've done. And I don't believe that the respect goes both ways, sir. Just to let you know. Because after that, I just. Fuck you.
Yeah, I
Fuck
mean,
it.
that respects the two-way street, right? Like I'm gonna give it to y'all. I mean, I might not get it every single day, right? But y'all, I'm not saying anybody has disrespected me, right? But I might not get it every day. But I'm not gonna hold that against anybody, right? Because stuff happens for sure. But you're right. Respect should be a thing, and we need to have that. But if you feel that you were wronged in that conversation, right? We can have a conversation to address that, right? We don't need to jump to retirement because that doesn't necessarily solve the problem, right? Because like you said, right, it's a family, it's a home, and we can only do that by working together and having those conversations.
Yeah, I do respect that, but this this is not me anymore. I do value respect than anything, and I've been always respectful to anyone, whenever, even if I have the body cam, even if I'm 100% sure, I do accept that I can do anything wrong, even if I'm 100% sure. And I do accept anyone can challenge me, either their lower ranks, their my higher ranks. So that also is part of respect. And at this point, I don't really think that's being considered.
No, so like that's oh, I thought you disappeared. So like that's what they're saying. Like the respect is here, right? It was just the conversations got misconstrued between both.
I guess Movic is getting in some real shit.
Apology. Um, just a
Miss Greer. Does
Yes,
she need
sir.
her uniform?
She needs a uniform, sir.
her
All right, Miss Greer.
interview wasn't done.
Her interview is done. She's passed.
No, interview wasn't done. Interview wasn't done.
Oh, okay. Hang on one second. Do you have your interview questions, Black, or no?
Yes, we have to.
Okay, go ahead and send me a message once it's done. Take her to HQ if it's free, and then I'll be there because I'm addressing something right now.
10-4.
I
All
don't
right,
know
come
too.
on, Mr. Man.
Message me, and then I'll come to you guys.
Um, After you've worked so hard, right? Like I said, like you've worked hard to get to this rank, right? You worked hard to be able to make it to MG. So like that's your next step. So I wouldn't recommend retirement, but at the same time, right? This isn't a prison. I'm not gonna hold you hostage and tell you that I won't retire you if that is your choice. But I would love for you to stay.
I tell everybody that's looking to retire on the same basis, don't make a long term decision based on a temporary emotion.
respect you, sir. We really do. Like I give everyone here the highest respect. You know, like I said, y'all are probably the best trained soldiers I've ever seen. And I understand, sir. If that is something that you really want to do, I will not hold you from that. I appreciate all the service that you've given, and hopefully one day, we can appreciate the service that you will give if and when you return. Right?
Yes, sir.
Oh snap! Mother looking sharp. All right then. Hey, straight hit with the clean, fresh white suit. Hey,
Go lay down.
my bad. Look, I got on trash clothes. All right, look, my bad.
All right,
It's
Mr.
my bad.
Movic, thank
See
you
you
for your
later,
service,
Mr.
sir.
Movie. Appreciate your service, sir.
Thank you.
Until next time.
Till next time, Mr. Movic.
Well, damn. Oh, y'all, I
Yeah,
need
Mr.
Don't
150 laps.
come
I
on,
need
Mr.
150
Nah.
FG.
laps right
So
now.
look,
Need 150.
I
Nah,
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 that's
nah,
that's
nah,
some
nah. Now
fucking bullshit.
y'all making my soldiers retire. 150 laps right now.
hey, I don't
So
worry.
I'll run
Hey,
it.
look,
I'll run it.
Mr. Movic been hot since that last meeting. Was he not?
For the
Mr.
morning,
Movic
yeah,
has
he
been
was.
demanding.
He was
Has
hot
been
since the yeah.
demanding.
Gonna
He's
go.
been
He gonna
demanding
go
since
tell her.
he
You
got
better
here.
believe it.
Oh, I know. He gonna tell her. But here's the thing, though. I wasn't doing anything wrong. I'll admit if I was doing something wrong. I'm not wrong in that. If you're not looking around and you're letting a gang member just sit there. I saw from mid. I was like, wait, is that a gang member? So I'm running, and this guy was like trying to get in the circle, and then he finally stood there, got the pack. Then I killed him while crossing from mid to AP. Okay, I get it. Like we're not able to spin, but why is somebody just standing there? We put in so much effort to set up. We put in so much effort to place different drones everywhere so nobody's reading our tactics. And then if we have a soldier just standing there like this, and then you're gonna tell me, I was looking at mid. I wasn't AFK. I was looking at mid. So you're telling me you don't walk around? You're not like you're not paying attention. You're not. You know what I
Look,
mean? You're not. Come
I
on.
think Mr. Movic he was emotionally charged in this situation, not like heavy, but he got some emotional baggage in place, and it was not allowing him to
That's
see.
why he got kicked out of PD. He was starting a lot of shit over there. That's why he got his suit taken away over there. That's why he got ripped out of
Because
his positions there.
I
I
tried to
mean, he
talk
did.
to him. I tried to level with him. What's that?
He did try to retire the other day, and the first thing out of his mouth was like, I want to retire. I don't feel like home. Same, pretty much same thing you just said, but at the same time, he did add in like rank up. So I was like, so are you wanting to retire essentially because you're not getting a rank up? He's like, no, no, that's not it. And I do
Because he's not
appreciate
Okay.
getting it as easy as he did from the first one.
and I mean
It's
I
someone.
understand that, but like we have a structure, right? Everybody besides that one, that one, and that one didn't have to participate in the structure, right? But y'all were the top candidates, right, that we could see for these positions. So we gave y'all the, you know, preemptive what's it called? Interview, right? Me and Mr. Demon interviewed all y'all. All three of y'all, right? Our interview was probably way easier than what y'all are used to, but right, y'all still had y'all's interview. But once we fixed everything, not necessarily fixed it, but like once we got everything on track and kind of the way we liked it, everybody's held to a certain standard. So you have to fulfill that standard. We can't say Miss Priscilla and Mr. Tony, right? They are the most active hard hats we have. They do the base guys, they do the macros, right? They run the raids, right? They run trainings. Like they're our most active hard hats. So of course their ranks are gonna fly through because they're doing the job. If we're not doing the job, we don't get the rank ups. Like they're not free.
Do you know this the past couple of days, with the hirings I've been doing, I've had to chase him. I've had to ask him, hey, Mr. Movic, can you please help out the hard hats with their macros? He logs out in the middle of it. All three of them, he logged out in the middle, and guess who picked it up? Who guess who he went to? He went to Priscilla to do it, and then he came to me the other day. And he was like, how come I didn't get credit for it when I put the hiring, in the hire tracker? I said, you didn't get credit for it, sir, because you handed it off to somebody. You didn't. I asked you to stay there to make sure that their macros are complete. This is the hard hat's job, okay, as well. For you guys to rank up, you guys have to fulfill this. Um, he skips out on anything that I've ever assigned him, and he talks about respect. How many times I've felt like, man, maybe he's not connecting with me, where I've tried to like, hey, maybe you lead the raid. I do little. I'm not an asshole. I just want everybody to do their job, what they're supposed to do. They want rank ups. It's not FG Freemason or Lulu's army anymore. You can't just be online then you get a suit. Everybody got a suit when and it's not. It's frustrating a little bit, because he's been causing havoc behind the scenes and a little bit here and there. I don't say anything, but that was as little as, hey, can you please move around? And then he messages me, I need to talk to you. I need to have a word with you in RT. Like, he's my boss. He wants to have a word with me the way I asked him to move around at 8P. You know what I'm saying, FG?
Yeah, I
So
kind of
no,
get
I
that.
don't I
I
don't
get
think that
that.
you were wrong in the situation, right? Like for sure, you're right.
Maybe I should have just
Like I
shut
told
up.
him. No, no, no. You're doing your job, right? As a CEG, your job is to handle base operations, right? Make sure the soldiers are doing what admins tell us to tell y'all to do, essentially, right? That's your job. So for sure, right? Raid, that is a major point. If you're not going to be attentive during the raid, just log out. Like that's fine. Like if you're not going to help, right? Just don't be here. Don't collect the pay, right? Because that's not fair to every other soldier. So I do feel like you were well within your right.
And he didn't
At the
die, by
same
the way.
time, like I told him, like I understand like him calling you AFK, you have a problem with, and that's cool for sure. You can have the problem, but from the outside looking in, right, just from hearing the story, right, it looks like you're AFK. If somebody gets past you, they get a package. Somebody has enough time to kill them, right? It takes what, 4 to 8 seconds to drop a body, depending on how many headshots you hit, right? Now
Yeah,
multiply that
yeah.
by two if they have a vest on, which most gang members that run through here do. So now we're almost
He
at
had a vest
16
on.
seconds of you not moving. And then I come to you and say, Mr. Movic, you don't say anything. Mr. Movic, you don't say anything. And I understand, like, right, we don't have to hit our mic at all points in times, right? For sure. Like I said during the raid, sometimes I don't hit mine because I don't have my headphones in. But at the same time, right, whenever you did respond, it shouldn't have been in a disrespectful manner to the CG. It should have been, sorry, sir, I'm not AFK. I just can't talk right now. Like my camera's slow, right? Whenever y'all were in here, it shouldn't have been any type of, well, I feel like
Is
you're
that
being
FG over
disrespectful.
there I hear in your background?
Yeah, yeah.
I'll be right back. This lady needs a uniform. Hang on, let's suit her up.